Hey Algebra 1, this is Miss Pathlin and I'm going to go through lesson 2.3, solving equations. So go ahead and pause this video and read the I can statements and circle the verbs and underline the nouns. Also, you want to look at the correlating learning tasks. So you also need to start assignment 3 and be working through Spiral Review 2. I will be giving you extra practice in class for Delta Math, so be on the lookout for the Delta Math extra practice for 2.3, and then this is the video assignment. Also, read over your vocabulary. Alright, this video I'm just going to go through task 1 and task 2. So if you could pause the video right now, and I want you to do task 1 on your own first, and then come back and check your answers. Okay, let's review the answers for task 1 just to find steps. Some equations require multiple steps to solve them efficiently. It gives us the equation 3x minus 2 times x plus 3 equals 5 minus 2x. And they solved it step by step in the table. So I wanted you to write the properties and or explain what was happening with each step. So go ahead and check with me to make sure you have those correct. So the first one, as you can see, it's the exact same. So that's always given because the problem was given to us. Then I want to see how they changed it in this second step. So I noticed that they got rid of those parentheses and now it says minus 2x minus 6. So what do we call that when you're multiplying negative 2 times x and negative 2 times 3? It's the distributive property. So for that, remember that you multiply everything inside the parentheses by the number outside, which would be negative 2. All right, then I noticed they got x minus 6 equals 5 minus 2x. So I can see that they combined like terms. 3x minus 2x equals x, or 1x. But remember, we are going to just keep x by itself to represent 1x. Okay, then x plus 2x minus 6 equals 5 minus 2x plus 2x. So I see they're adding 2x to both sides. So remember, we want to move all the variables to one side of the equal sign and all of the constants to the other. So they're taking this negative 2x and they're adding it to both sides of the equal sign. So that would be the addition property of equality. Then I see that they went from x plus 2x and they got 3x. And then negative 2x plus 2x would be 0, so they didn't write anything here. So they combined like terms. All right. Then from 3x minus 6 equals 5, we now have 3x minus 6 plus 6 equals 5 plus 6. So I see they're adding 6 to both sides, which is the addition property of equality. And then they just got 3x equals 11. So I see that they combined those like terms. Negative 6 plus 6 equals 0. So you're just left with 3x. And then 5 plus 6 equals 11. So they combined like terms. 3x divided by 3 equals 11 divided by 3. We want to get x isolated or by itself. So if it's 3 times x, we have to do the opposite or inverse and divide by 3 on both sides. So that's the division property of equality. And then x, you can write it as a mixed number, 3 and 2/3, or usually the standard form is to just keep it as an improper fraction, x equals 11/3, so that would be simplified. So make sure you're familiar with the properties. All right, for number 2, is there another way you could have approached this problem? What are your thoughts? So this is all your opinion, so answers vary here, so just make sure you have something written from your perspective. All right, go ahead and pause the video now. And I want you to do task 2, solving equations. So you need to be able to solve these equations on your own, these multi-step equations with one variable. Move this down. So go ahead and pause the video right now and do number 3, all of these. So now let's go over the answers to make sure you did them correctly. Solve the following equations. Justifications are not necessary this time, just practice solving. So I just want to go through in case you need some extra guidance. Otherwise, just check your answers. If you got them wrong, go ahead and rewrite the correct one so you have these as a note reference. Remember, you can use these on quizzes and the check your understandings. All right, so 5x plus 8 equals 3x minus 3. I'm just going to rewrite the problem given for the equation. So we want to get all of the variables to one side of the equal sign and all of the constants to the other. So my variables, I'm going to circle in blue. And my constants, I'm going to circle in green. So it's up to you which one you want to choose. I'm going to start with my constants. So I'm going to move this plus 8 to the other side. So in order to move it, I need to do the inverse operation. So I need to do minus 8 to both sides. And I write them directly below the constants because we want to combine like terms. All right, then I'm going to bring down the 5x. 8 minus 8 is 0, so I don't need to write anything. 3x. Negative 3 minus 8 equals negative 11. Now I have 5x and 3x. Since I already moved all my constants to the right side, I need to move this 3x to the left side. Right now it's positive, so the inverse would be minus 3x. 5x minus 3x is 2x equals negative 11. Last step, I need to get x isolated or by itself. Right now I have 2 times x, so the inverse of multiplication would be division, property of equality. 2x divided by 2 is x equals, and then I'm going to keep that as an improper fraction. I cannot simplify it any further, so it's negative 11 halves. All right, next one, 2 times 4y plus 3 equals 16. I first need to use the distributive property. 2 times 4y is 8y. 2 times 3 is positive 6 equals 16. Now I need to move all of my constants over to one side. So I have all my variables on this side. So I need to move this plus 6 by doing the inverse, which is minus 6. 16 minus 6 equals 10. 8 times y, the inverse would be divide. I have to do it to both sides. Y equals 10 over 8. I can simplify this further. If I divide both sides by 2, y equals 5/4. All right, these last two. I know most students don't like fractions. Now, they aren't as scary as you think they are. There's a really easy way where we can get rid of them to make it a little easier to solve though. So look at the math tip. You can eliminate the fractions in an equation by multiplying both sides of the equation by the least common denominator of the fractions. So look at the denominators. That's the bottom number of each fraction. 3, 5, and 5. So what would be the least common denominator? What's a factor of all of these? What does 3 and 5 go into? Well, I know it goes into 15. 3 times 5 equals 15. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 15 by putting parentheses around them and then writing 15. Then we just solve by multiplying everything across the entire equation. To make it easier, I'm going to make 15 into a fraction, 15 over 1, and then multiply my numerators across and then my denominators. 15 times 2 is 30. 1 times 3 is 3p, plus 15 times 1 is 15, 1 times 5 is 5, equals 4 times 15 is 60, 5 times 1 is 5. Now I can go through and actually divide to find the whole numbers. 30 divided by 3 is 10p, plus 15 divided by 5 is 3. 60 divided by 5 is 12. All right, then it's a little easier to solve. No more fractions. Got to get rid of my constants on the side with the variable, so plus 3 inverse would be minus 3. Need to do it to both sides. Then I'm left with 10p equals 9. 10 times p, the inverse is divide by 10. Do it to both sides. P equals 9 tenths. Last one. Let's find the least common denominator between 4, 6, 3, and 4. Well, I know 12 goes into all of these. So multiply by 12 over 1 on both sides. 12 times 3 is 36. 1 times 4 is 4. 12 times 1 is 12. 1 times 6 is 6 equals 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3a, plus 1 times 12 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4. Go through and simplify by dividing. 36 divided by 4 is 9a, minus 12 divided by 6, 2. 24 divided by 3 is 8a, plus 12 divided by 4, 3. Now we need to move the constants to one side. I'm going to move this negative 2 or minus 2. Opposite would be plus 2 to both sides. 9a equals 8a plus 5. Now I need to move my variables to the opposite side, so 8a, need to do minus 8a. 9a minus 8a would just give me 1a, or a equals 5.